Max Verstappen has 2 Formula One World Championships. Verstappen is the youngest driver to win the Formula One World Championship. Look at this result. This, and this. We are seeing this Dutchman currently leading the championship by a comfortable margin in 2023, and his name is topping all the races. But how is he managing to perform so well? Is this because of his insane driving style? Let's figure it out in today's video. Some of you will probably think that it's because he started driving when he was 4, but actually, he started driving before he was 4. His dad put him on a quad bike. Yes, it is a key thing. Quad bikes are much more challenging to drive than go-karts, and they require a lot of balance and coordination. By putting Max on a quad bike at a young age, his dad gave him a head start in developing these skills. Quad bikes are also more powerful than go-karts, which means that Max had to learn how to control a vehicle with a lot of torque. This is important for Formula One racing, where the cars are very powerful and can be difficult to handle. Another thing is his racing DNA. Verstappen's father, Jos Verstappen, was a Formula One driver in the 1990s. And his mother, Sophie Kumpen, was a successful kart racer. She was a 2-time Belgian karting champion and competed against some of the best F1 drivers of her generation, including Jenson Button and Christian Horner. So we can say this couple raised their son to win. Max Verstappen is known for his aggressive and unconventional driving style. His driving style has evolved with time. Look at this clip. Here, he is just 12 years old. But how aggressive he is in the racing! Now, you probably think that driving in kart is very different from driving in Formula One, but it can give us an idea of his early driving. He was aggressive, dynamic, and fearless. He was not afraid to push the limits of the kart and his own abilities, and he was often able to find a way to overtake it even when he was at a disadvantage. One of the most distinctive aspects of Verstappen's karting driving style was his use of the brakes. He was very aggressive with his braking, often braking later and harder than his competitors. This allowed him to carry more speed into corners and exit them faster. Verstappen's karting driving style was also known for being very smooth. He was able to control the kart with precision and minimize any wasted movement. This allowed him to be very consistent and efficient, even when driving at the limit. Here is the karting BNL race, and see how much Max was aggressive in the start. He is using brakes over and over again. It's his overtaking strategy. Then he made more and more moves. And here's the thing to notice, how aggressively he is trying to take over this driver. He is very close but fearless. He's running in the race, but he's quite far behind. He hits the brakes, but he brakes too late, causing his car to lose grip and slide outward. This also messes up the other driver's path on the track. He manages to catch up to the other driver, but it's clear that he's signaling his intention to pass. After a few more corners, he successfully passes the other driver. At just 12 years old, Max is already competing at a very high level in racing. He's not only making strategic moves, but also winning races despite starting from the middle of the pack. Max's karting career was extraordinary. He won nearly everything, including 2 European championships, where he competed against drivers like Charles Leclerc. In one instance, Leclerc gave up his second-place position to Max in the World Championships. Verstappen's impressive performance in go-karting caught the eye of Helmut Marko, a motorsports advisor at Red Bull. Marko invited the young Dutch driver to join the Red Bull Junior team, which was a big deal because it gave Verstappen a clear path to a career in Formula One. With Red Bull's support, Verstappen continued to do really well in go-karting. He won multiple championships and set many records. He went straight from karting to Formula 3. He started his single-seater career in the inaugural Florida Winter Series in 2014, where he finished 3rd overall. He then moved to the FIA Formula 3 European Championship with Van Amersfoort Racing, where he finished 3rd in a championship. This is even more impressive because normally drivers join F4 first, but Max directly joined F3. Max was still very young and he had to race against some really skillful drivers. Some of these drivers included Antonio Giovinazzi, Tom Blomqvist, Felix Rosenqvist, and Jake Dennis. However, his biggest competition was Esteban Ocon, who was also having an amazing junior racing career that year. Well, in this race, Ocon tried to hold his position on the outside line, but was forced over the curb and had to yield. Verstappen moved up into 6th place with an uncompromising move. He was fully committed to that racing line. It is so risky. Great move! Psychologically, this was a significant boost for Max Verstappen. He was 16 years old at that time. His impressive performances in Formula 3 earned him a seat at Toro Rosso for the 2015 Formula 1 season, making him the youngest driver to ever compete in Formula 1 at the age of 17 years and 166 days. Max is well known for his driving style and his preferences when it comes to how his car is set up. Specifically, he likes the front of the car to have a lot of grip, which means it focuses on having good traction at the front tires. To achieve this, the rear of the car is often set up higher, which puts more weight on the front tires and gives them better grip. This setup allows the car to turn very quickly and makes it easy for Max to control the car in corners. He can make the car go where he wants it to. However, not all drivers are comfortable with this kind of setup. For example, drivers like Gasly and Albon, who also raced for Red Bull, struggled with it. Even Max's dad, who sometimes races with Max in GT cars, has a different preference. Max's dad finds the setup too prone to oversteer, and he prefers a stiffer front end for better control. In this clip, you can see Max testing a Formula Renault car, which is quite similar to an F3 car but a bit slower. Pay close attention to the way he handles the steering wheel. Unlike many other drivers who might struggle to control the car when it starts sliding, Max is exceptional at keeping it right on the edge throughout the corners. If someone else were to drive this car with the same setup, they likely wouldn't be as smooth and refined as Max. Max is pushing the car to its limits, but he does it with remarkable smoothness. Watch how he seems to have a keen sense of the tire's grip and how he balances the car as he navigates the corners. It's like he's dancing with the car on the track. Max's steering wheel control in this video is extremely impressive because of his natural talent. He's not overthinking it. It's a kind of finesse that's very hard to teach. It might sound like Max's way of driving in the lightweight F3 car wouldn't work in F1, but it did. When he joined Red Bull, his driving style matched how they designed their car before 2022. Red Bull's car had a particular setup with the front of the car balanced the way Max preferred. However, the rules changed recently and the new cars need to be lower to the ground. At first, Max adjusted his driving style to be smoother and maintain a higher speed in corners, keeping the car flatter to generate more downforce from the floor. But lately, it looks like Red Bull has figured out how to make the car suit Max's traditional style better. Do you think his karting experience and aggressive style were crucial factors in his success in Formula 1? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more.